What is going on, guys? Money Webby here, back again with some NBA playoffs, DFS talk. I got my DraftKings picks for you. 6 of my favorite plays on the slate. It is tipping off at 2:30, so I decided to upload a little bit earlier. It's currently Friday night, so some news could change. The one thing we're really looking at is the Joel Embiid news. The most recent thing that came out is that he is doubtful, so I'm assuming that he isn't going to be playing in this game against Brooklyn. So I'm kind of rounding my picks around that. Obviously, things could change. So if he is kind of playing before we get a word before lock at 2:30, which is really good, it is the first game of the slate, I will tweet out an updated Money 6 if that kind of happens on my Twitter at MoneyWebby. So make sure you're following me there if you want. But before we get going, if you could drop a like in the video, it really means a lot. It kind of helps me continue to make these videos every single day. And also, if you want to see these videos, the remainder of the NBA playoffs, definitely show some love to the like button. So I appreciate that. Let's hop right into it, though. My first guy is going to be Jokic here at 9,000. On paper, not a great matchup. I mean, Spurs and the Nuggets play at pretty slow paces. They don't really score that many points. The Nuggets are pretty high scoring, but the Spurs can kind of bring the flow down and be a little bit more of a grinded out game. But I feel like Jokic can still fill it up with the rebound ability because they're going to be pretty active down low with guys like Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan. They're two kind of guys that are pretty active around the rim. So I think he can get over 10 rebounds. He's going to be playing some more minutes as it's the playoffs. They don't really need to rest him as much because there are kind of off days more often in the playoffs. And, I mean, you're not resting them up for the playoffs. It's kind of just unleash your starters a little bit more this go time. And they really need him out there. I mean, this is their first playoff appearance in a while, I'm pretty sure. And Jokic is the leader of the team. He is the guy that kind of keeps them collected. I feel like he's the one that doesn't get over anxious, I would say, on the court. So I feel like he's going to be good to go here in this game against the Spurs. He played extremely well against them. Almost had like a perfect game against the Spurs last time out. Besides the turnovers, he shot 9 for 10 and 20, 11, and 9. He was 1 assist off a triple-double. So I feel like he has that kind of upside again here. He always can get a triple-double and always can fill it up. And at 9,000, that's a really good price tag for a guy that can go over 50 to 60 DraftKings points in any kind of matchup. So I like him a lot here. The more minute upside can really work in his favor, especially for a center that has that passing ability. It's a perfect situation for him. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my first guy. Then I'm going to go with Kevin Durant. When the playoffs come around, this is the time where he starts to get going. I feel like he always is kind of goes through the motions a little bit with the Warriors until the playoffs come around. I mean, he only averaged 26 points a game this year, which is probably his lowest of his career, or maybe not his career, but like the lowest in a while for him. So at 8,000 here, really good price tag, and this is a really good matchup, I would say, against the Clippers if this game does stay close. Obviously, there is some concern that it's a blowout here because the Warriors are so damn good, and the Clippers can be a little bit hot and cold shooting-wise. But if this game stays close, KD could honestly go over 50 DraftKings points, and in the 4 games against them, he's averaging 55 DraftKings points and 54% from the field. So he absolutely loves this matchup. They really have no one that can slow him down, as they're kind of more of a guard-oriented team. I mean, they've been starting kind of 3 guards with Shamet at the 3, and he's not really a true 3. Obviously, he's more of a shooting guard. So that could be an issue for the Clippers in that situation. But they do have someone and Patrick Beverley that could slow down Steph Curry, which I'm hoping happens, and then Kevin Durant kind of takes the front runner spot of the offense. As Beverley, he has been playing really good defense in the second half of the year, and Steph Curry did tweak his ankle the other night, so maybe he's a little bit extra cautious with that and kind of takes a backseat to KD a little bit more in this game. So at 8,000, really good price tag for a guy that always has a huge upside if he does get going. I mean, he was obviously killing the Clippers in just 28 minutes the other night with 16, 7, and 4, and he only put up 7 shots. So, I mean, he can kill this team whenever he feels like it. Hopefully, Steph Curry is a little bit still kind of thinking about that ankle injury, and Steph Curry hasn't been too good in the playoffs over the last few years. He kind of slows down once the playoffs come around, and that's when Kevin Durant kind of kicks it into the second gear. So I'm hoping that's what happens. I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my second guy, and like I said, I'm assuming that Embiid is out here tonight. So it's 7,800 against the Brooklyn Nets. It's just way too good of a price for a guy like Ben Simmons. He's going to be playing maybe northwards of 38, 40 minutes in this game if it stays close. So really good ability can always fill it up, especially with Embiid out. Some more rebounding upside and some more kind of shot total upside. Could put up around 15 shots in this game, and it's kind of a mismatch. Don't really know who they're going to match up with Ben Simmons. Maybe they put Damari Carroll on him or something like that, but there's really no one. I guess Carroll would be the best matchup for him, but their guards are obviously a little bit too small on D'Angelo Russell and Spencer Dinwiddie. So this could be a good spot for Ben Simmons to get a ton of rebounds without Embiid. More shots going up, could put up over 20 shots. He could honestly go into that kind of Embiid kind of role where he's just kind of putting up layups, offensive rebounds, and stuff like that, as the Nets do struggle a lot with rebounding, especially against big men. I would kind of consider Ben Simmons big man in the spot, especially with Embiid out. So at 7,800 against the Brooklyn Nets, way too good of a price without Embiid. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there. There's not much to it. I mean, his usage is going to be so good in this spot without Embiid in a high-scoring game. The over-under is like 233, so a really good spot for him. And fourth guy, Tobias Harris at 6,400. Another good price, as their price is kind of considering that Embiid was going to play. I mean, the news didn't really come out until today that he was questionable, then he got put down the doubtful. So maybe they're playing some mind games. Not really sure, but with that doubtful tag, I would assume that you can't be that kind of dishonest when it comes to the playoffs. It's kind of a cheap move, I would say, by the 76ers. But still, if he's out, like I said, Tobias Harris, some more shots can go his way. Somewhere to Ben Simmons, some more rebounds can go his way, as Embiid was the number one option on that team. So Tobias Harris makes a lot of sense to step up. Does have the best matchup on paper, just scoring-wise. They have allowed like the most fantasy points to power forwards, I'm pretty sure. So Tobias Harris, good spot for him, especially with Ben Simmons probably becoming the focal point for the Nets defensively, and then he can kick it to Tobias Harris for some easier looks. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there at 6,400. Really good upside in the high-scoring game. And for my fifth guy, Lou Williams at 6,200. Always kind of plays up to the competition. I feel like he loves playing these kind of games, especially against the Warriors. Had a pretty solid game against them the other night, 13-5-5 with 2 blocks, 3 steals, but the rest of his team really didn't do much. It turned into a blowout, like I mentioned, with KD. That's kind of a concern with Lou Williams, obviously, but he's going to be getting some more run off the bench with them being in the playoff mode. There's really no need, again, for a bench guy like Lou Williams is pretty much their best player to not see around 30 minutes in this game. I mean, he had 28 minutes in, I think, like 3 quarters. He didn't even play in the fourth quarter of that game. So a really good spot here for Lou Williams against Golden State, who's going to push the tempo, score a lot of points, and Lou Williams is going to have to be on his A game to keep this game close and really run it up. So at 6,200, another guy, really good upside if he does get hot. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my fifth guy. So obviously not much salary left over, but Boban at 3,500 with Embiid likely out here. He's going to step in, see around 20 minutes hopefully against the Nets. They do play with 2 centers that are pretty big with Ed Davis and Allen. So Boban kind of makes sense matchup-wise, and also Bolden is questionable for this game. So obviously if he's out as well, then Boban could draw the start, see around 20 minutes hopefully. His minutes are very inconsistent, I would say. But with those 2 guys possibly out, I mean, it just makes too much sense for him not to see around 20 minutes. And he's been playing really well every time he's been getting those kind of minutes with the 76ers. I mean, he got 41 DraftKings points against Chicago in 25 minutes, 24 DraftKings points in 20 against Miami. So really good upside with those extra minutes, and at 3,500, really good value play, as they kind of assumed he wouldn't see much run with Embiid in the lineup, but it's not looking that way. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my final guy. So you got 45, 50 remaining per player. A ton of guys that can return a lot of value. Simmons could go, honestly, up to 50 in that matchup. Lou Williams could go over 40. KD could go up to 50. Tobias could go up to 40. Jokic could go over 50. And Boban could hit around 25 to 30 in that spot. So I hope you enjoyed it. Slap a like if you did. Would really appreciate that. Let's try to get over 100 likes in this video. I'm not sure how many people are going to tune into the video, as it's the NBA playoffs, but it was pretty popular with my videos last year, so hopefully we get that same kind of turnout. But good luck here tonight, or during the day, Saturday. I guess it starts at 2:30, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, if you happen to be new here, to continue to get these NBA DraftKings playoff picks. I also do MLB videos still, as the MLB season is here. But good luck here tonight. Hope you win some money. Like I said, I will tweet out any updates on Twitter at MoneyWebby. But we'll see you back here again next time.